My name is McDennis. McDennis.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My name, okay. My name is McDennis Eli Dotse. Uh, Currently with Nsoatreman FC.
All right. Um, Before we start the interview, I want to know like where you are from, so that we'll have to we'll compare it to the clubs you have played. Where are you from in Ghana?
As in tribe or I'm an Ewe. Basically, I'm an Ewe. From Sogakope, if you know where Wafa is based. Yes,
Yeah, I know.
that's where I come from.
Okay, okay. So how has it been? Because you played for Wafa, then you moved to King Faisal, then now you're at Nsoatreman FC. How has it been traveling around to play football in Ghana? How was your time at King Faisal? Let's start with that.
Uh, uh, Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Sure.
I'm grateful. Uh, and I must commend you for the good work you're doing. I mean,
Thank you very much.
we all see Clinton. I think the first time I came across you was when you went for the World Cup, Qatar. I think you wrote
Ah,
something on Twitter about some people thinking, somebody said something about you being a Ghanaian guy or Nigerian or something. I think I saw something. Yes, that was the first time I saw something like in the media space in Ghana. There's someone called Clinton, and I must commend you. You're doing a good job. So I'm
thank
actually
you very
honored to
much.
be on on your platform. You asked about King Faisal. It's actually a good club. We all know that with Alaji, he's produced so many players in this country. We can talk about Sami Osei, Ibrahim Tanko, Malam Yaya, Eric Gauss, the Abubakar Yahuza. At one time, when I joined King Faisal, Alaji, in a conversation with me, he mentioned that uh, he's very sure that I'll be one of his products. I mean, I don't know if I've seen them.
I understand what you mean.
He's seen something. Yes, and so uh, it's a fine club for development. If you check yourself in terms of attitude, he gives you that platform to develop yourself. But for me, unfortunately, I joined Kim Faisal in the second round of that truncated season. And when the season was truncated, I renewed my contract 2 years. And then along the line, I had issues with the head coach, Lavisa Bozovic. And so I opted to leave and make sure that I get my education done before I come back to football. So that was what happened basically at King Faisal.
All right. Yeah, that's good. You made your debut for Nsoatreman because after King Faisal, you obviously went to Nsoatreman. When you had the opportunity, is it that they called you or you went for trials? When you had the opportunity to play for Nsoatreman, how did you feel? How did the move? Like, what happened that made you move to Nsoatreman?
Uh, with Nsoatreman, I I was due to travel the season that just ended in the first round. I almost joined Legon City, and at the latter stages of negotiations, there were some discussions with my people and Maswa Konedu, and so my people didn't like those discussions, and then they opted that we be out. So I had to stick to the second round of the season. And so when the opportunity came to join in Nsoatreman, I think they asked that come and play, which is a normal thing that is done in Ghanaian football. Whether you're an established player or you're an up and coming player, they want to have a feel of what you are made of. They want to have a feel of who you are. They want to see for themselves. So they called, and then I had to go through. I think it was almost a month of trial. I have to go through it, and then finally I was able to make my debut for the club. I think against Karela. And
Yes.
the feeling was good. I mean, yes, yes.
All right. So, how did you feel when coach told you, get dressed, you're coming in next, like on your debut?
You see,
can you remember that
for someone like me, yes, I think for someone like me, it was nothing new to me because this is what I've always prepared for. And I think for me, honestly speaking, I should have made my debut way before that game. I think politics at that club, Nsoatreman, delayed that. So the very day I had the opportunity of getting involved in a game, it was nothing new to me. But having your first game is something that every player would, I mean, cherish. I mean, would be happy about it. I was actually happy to. And the good thing is we've always lost 2-0 in our away game. But that very day when I made my debut, though we lost, but it was 1-0. And when we came back, board chairman was happy that things were gradually turning around. So, that's actually a plus to me.
All right. So let's go back a little. Which team did you support? Which Ghana Premier League team do you support growing up?
I'm actually a typical Accra boy. A typical Accra boy.
So, as a vocal, which
of
them did you support?
I know where you want to push me to. So I know where you want to push me.
I'm not putting you in the sport for you to choose this club or this one. I'm just asking, which club did you support growing up?
Well, so I was actually on something that's a typical Accra boy, and I have seen games between Kotoko and Hearts of Oak, and I think I am actually a red side from Accra. I'm actually a red side from Accra, so you know.
Okay. I understand. So you're trying to tell me that it's between Kotoko and Hearts of Oak. So because of your spent time in Kumasi, which team, like, you say, okay, this is the team I would like to play in the future if I had the opportunity? Because if you spend time in Accra, you spend time in Kumasi. Like, looking at both clubs, which team do you feel that, okay, this is the team if they come for me, or if I have opportunity to play for them, I will grab it with both hands?
Honestly speaking, I'm a professional. I'm a footballer. So
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Saying if I have the opportunity to play for Hearts, because I feel Kotoko is no. Any of them that comes my way, I'm actually going to grab it, because these are the two biggest clubs in our country, and every Ghanaian, every player in the Ghana Premier League, even those who have gone outside, wish to be part of any of these two clubs.
All right.
And so saying if no, any of these two clubs are good clubs that in every player in the Ghana Premier League dreams of playing for.
Yeah. All right. So you are a defensive midfielder, right?
I'm actually a central midfielder.
Central midfielder. Okay. My question is: have you had any opportunity to move into the national teams? Any of them, the under 20, the under 21, the black?
No.
So
no, I haven't.
Have you had any conversation with anyone about getting to the national setup, or something you want to achieve in the future?
let's be honest. Getting into the national team should be on merit.
Okay.
It should be on merit. It should not be conversations with people that I think no. It's an honor. It's a privilege.
My question was not because you want to ask someone to let you get into it. I was asking, like, there's an opportunity you get, you be like, please, if he's coming to look for players to scout, tell him to come and look at where I'm playing. Like, come and look at Wafa, come and look at Kimfezo, come and look at Nsoatreman. Have you had any conversation with anyone to say, please tell them to also come and look at players here?
To be honest, I haven't had that great season to expect that I should be part of any of the national.
That's fair enough.
You understand? Yes, I'm an honest player and a fair player. I think there are people who are playing better who deserve to be in the national team. If I have had a great season, I'm actually out there doing well, then why not? I think when Coach Samuel Bodu came for this scouting at Brown House. He came to Nsoatreman. We were training then when he came. I was the first player he spoke about. He asked Amoaku, is this fair boy a new player? They said yes. Why is he not playing? And so it's about having the platform and exhibiting what you can do. You have the opportunity and you play and people see that you can do better. That's what matters. But currently, I have not had a great season to be thinking of being in the national team. No. But in the future, yes, no problem.
All right. So, how would you rate your first season at Nsoatreman?
Very poor.
Very poor. In terms of you haven't had much opportunity, or that you are not happy with your performance?
First of all, I'm not happy with my performance. Secondly, I think there was a time for me to play regular football, but as I mentioned earlier, the politics at Nsoatreman had to push some of us away because it was too much for some of us to handle, and things were not done purely on football reasons. You see, so the politics, and so I would say my season has been 1/10. I think yes, 1/10.
All right. That's understandable. It makes sense. So let's talk about the Ghana Premier League. People have been saying that the football in the country is dead, that the pitches, the facilities, and all that are not improving, and the football in Ghana right now is at the lowest. So what is your take on that football in Ghana is dead? So what do you
I'm actually a young man. Yes, I'm a young man, but when I've had the opportunity of being in the midst of I'm a second boy, so obviously I should meet big people who are stakeholders in football. And in some of their conversations, you get to know that football is somehow gone down in the country. But for the GPL, from a player's perspective, it's not a league to develop players. It's a league that gives players that competitive edge. It gives you that competitive advantage. It doesn't develop you. So you as a player, you need to develop yourself. You have to develop yourself because the coaches don't have time to develop you. They don't have time to tell you. I compare Wafa to some of the GPL class. Okay. I compare what Right to Dream is doing. You see, they have time to tell you this is how you pass the ball, this is how you move, this is the space you need to occupy. But most of the GPL clubs don't have that time. It's about just putting up 11 players on the field and want results by all means. And so, if your coach is not a type who is who is a developmental coach, someone who cherishes like Kasim Mingo, who is really into development, I'm not sure they'll have the time for you to even when you are at like you sit down for a while and come where they need to give you like 1 month for you to get back into yourself. So clubs don't have that time for you.
So
I look at
you just talked about Kasim Mingra. I want to ask, is it that it's general knowledge that that coach is invested in developing young players?
You look at where it's coming from. And so if you ask me to mention coaches that I know personally that they've been in development, I can mention some good number of coaches. You look at where it's coming from. He's been with Shooting Stars and Division 2 club. They were solely into development. Their ideas were to sell players, to develop them here and then push them out.
True.
One time, Nsoatreman was at Red Bull, and so he had that developmental something. And so some of the coaches are purely just let's put 11 players on the field, make sure we get our 3 points. And that is where the problem is. And so we go back to blame the FA for not doing the right thing.
True.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because when the time I chanced on a conversation between two big ex-footballers, and they talked about so Jones Atukwefiu. He actually had to give Ishmaelado some time. And you and I know development takes time. And so we use Rafa. They use 16, 15 years, Michael, Moses. They are 15, 16 years to play in the GPL. They've been with Rafa for years. So the GPL has its own way of pushing you up there, but you have to always be.
I understand. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so we're about rounding up because I think it's almost 20 minutes already. So, talking about the Ghana Premier League, what are your plans for next season? You talked about politics at Nsoatreman. Do you think you are going to stay there next season, or you are working with your agents about a possible move? What are your plans for next season?
I left the club. I think I asked to be let go. I asked that my contract be abrogated. I think as the game against RTU, yes, because I at the point I felt I should be playing regular football, and the coach was trying. Yes, the coach was. I am not the kind or the type of player we happy being on the bench. No.
So
you can't be playing Ghana Premier League.
You are saying right now you are not in contract with Nsoatreman, like you are not no longer there.
But now they've not sent me my release letter because what I heard was they wanted to discuss the issue with the board chairman before they let go.
Okay, but you want to leave.
I'm actually waiting for them, so I'm sure. Yes, I want to play regular football. I don't want to be. No. I want to play regular football.
All right. That makes sense because every player wants to get playing time because everyone wants to advance in their career. So that makes sense. So, are you thinking of coming back to Accra to look for clubs, or you are allowing your agents to look for clubs for you?
I'm always trying to put myself into good shape, and whatever comes out, we grab it. I think there was something out there for me, but we tried getting a visa and it didn't work out. Issues came out, so I had to hold on and see what happens next season in the GPL. If something comes up.
But definitely next season you still be in the Premier League, or anything can happen.
Of course. I'm available. This is what I do. That's for football. I dropped out of school, so I'm good to in the GPL outside.
Yeah. Right. So I heard a particular footballer, Patrick Pozo, that's a Black Stars left back. He played the left back his first game against Madagascar. Is it on Sunday? Yeah, on Sunday. He said that he would advise players not to go to. He's in Moldova right now in Sheriff Tiraspol. He said he will advise players not to spend much time in leagues that are not known very much. Like he said, his league is not that good. There is only his club that's good because they have opportunities to play in the Champions League. What would you say about that? Would you like to leave Ghana to play in any league at all, or do you like to use another league abroad to, expand your experience and everything?
So I think that you, first of all, as a player, you need to know what you're looking for. Well, every footballer is looking for money.
Obviously.
Every footballer is looking for money. Yes. It's your job, so you need to work and be paid for it. And so yes, chasing the money is as important as making the name as well. And if you are playing the Ghana Premier League, I think you have to develop yourself properly before you want to pick it up. Because if you're not properly, what the people out there are looking for is not what we think is right here. Yes, you have to be equipped with what they are looking for out there. And so if you're not equipped with what they are looking for, you will go and we have seen players join clubs in the Arab world, in Tunisia, and go, and in a year or 6 months they come back with issues of contracts have to be terminated, their monies were not paid, and all those things. Meanwhile, if you had stayed a year or two and given your best in the GPL, you would have gotten a better place. For instance, playing for Kotoko for like three years and putting up my best. I'm sure we heard stories about Drew and all those people. These are people we have to emulate. These are guys who gave their best for this club. And one time somebody said, Abronsai can still be Drew there. But there's somebody who also went out there just to any club, any country to play. And they Onishe. And so it's basically about priority. But you have to be developed properly before you step up. Because either than that, you go and come back.
All right. So we've heard about several ways of how the leaders in football can help bring more people interested in the Ghana Premier League. For example, if I go to cover a Ghana Premier League game, the things I look at is the attendance, the performance, and if at all, because there are some games you go because people are not in the stadium, we don't have much journalists in the stadium, they will decide not to do press conference. So you or three journalists that went there, they won't have opportunity to ask the coach questions about the game. But they'll feel, since nobody came to watch the game, let's just go home like that. Attendance has been poor this season. The last 2 games at home was basically an empty stadium. The season started well, then towards the end of the season, empty stadium. Same thing with House of Hope. So what do you think can be done to make people interested or develop people's interest in the Ghana Premier League or local football? Yeah, your opinion. What do you think can be done?
We need to sell. Some years ago, we had that. Yes, we need to sell good football. If I think we Ghanaians criticize the Black Stars more often than any other football, be it national team or a club in this country.
Right.
But when they come and even training session, you see the number of people who go there to training session.
Yes, think that
because of the
people at Black Stars training session, the fans there are more than the normal fans during
Yes. It is because of the quality of people around. People want to see Kudus. People want to see Thomas Partey. People want to see So as DPL clubs don't they don't make their players look attractive to their fans. For instance, I was at Nsoatreman for almost 3 months, and even the supporters chairman doesn't know my name.
That's something I wanted to ask you. I spent a lot of time looking for your pictures online. So
yes, the supporters chairman doesn't even know my name.
Yes,
and so you understand this.
I understand what you mean.
When Kudus joined IAS, and all the management members, all the people who were in charge, knew very well that there's somebody at the club called Mohammed Kudus.
So you are saying,
it's about the way we do it.
You are saying that there are some people at Nsoatreman that they don't know who you are.
I think I said for like 3 months. I train with the club. I'm almost involved in almost everything, but they just didn't know who I am.
Wow.
So how yes, even people were there before me. They don't know them. They don't know them.
So it's possible.
All that matters to them.
For example, now you have asked the club to let you go, like to release you. So it's possible that there are some other players that have played for the club, but the fans never knew that this player played for Nsoatreman.
There are players there. When you ask fans that what is the player, what is this guy's name, they don't even know their name. Their names. Yes, yes. So you understand. So for a club like Kumasi and Hearts of Folk, because they are big clubs, I'm sure supporters are somehow integrated into the club. Sure. And so whoever is there, they are interested to know what happens in the lives of this guy. You understand? So I think we are not selling the best of football to the people, because Ghana, everybody is a coach, everybody is a good football analyst, everyone in their own small space. Yes. And so when he goes to Park 1 and 2 and he doesn't see what he's looking for, I'm not sure he would want to go. But for the bonus side, for a club like Nsoatreman, we have always had that home support. The fans have really shown that love. They've always rallied behind, not necessarily the club, but behind the man. Because the political thing, the owner of the club is a politician. So the people there have rallied behind him, not the club. Because if you want to rally behind a club, you should always be looking at the player.
Okay, that makes sense.
You understand?
Yes.
So for the bonus side, those places, the support has been there. The support for the club. We talk about Diana, Bechem. When Bechem even came to Nsoatre against us, the number of people that followed them was impressive. You could count more than 300 to 400 people following Bechem to Nsoatre to just watch their game against us. And so it should tell you. But in the urban cities, people are busy with their things. In Kumasi, in Accra, people are busy. Somebody has to do 1, 2, 1, 2. So he's not going to waste time and go and watch football when a player cannot give, a professional player, a GPL player cannot give 10-meter pass. A GPL player cannot locate a third man. No, he's not going to waste his time. Because there are people who are learning. They know so much about the game. So yes, when they go to watch the game and they see nothing exciting about the game, they don't want to bother themselves and go to watch anything.
All right. So we are rounding up. Let me ask you this: which coach, because you played at Wafa, in Faisal and Nsoatreman, which coach have you enjoyed working under?
I think.
And also, which coach would you really like to work with in the future? Those two questions.
I mean, the coach. I think Coach Prosper Nateogum is Coach Prosper Nateogum is a special man. Yes.
Why is he special?
Yes, 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 for someone like me, I always say coaching is on the level, it's on the same level as teaching. Yes, this is a whole lecturer, and so he brings that lecturing thing into coaching, and so even if you don't want to play, you die for him. He's a special man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
He stands out, and I think that 3 months with Lagos City, I saw something about Coach Maswo Konedu.
okay.
He doesn't speak so much. He doesn't talk so much. He's not the
Yeah, he
type who
doesn't.
yells at players
He
and
doesn't.
talks
When
that.
he doesn't speak so
No,
much.
no, no.
When I was at Kotoko, he doesn't.
Yes,
He rarely speaks.
yes, but he looks at things and knows that this boy understands the game. That 3 months, yes, I was always playing. He's almost always on his first 11. I always play, and I never had a conversation with him one on one. He would just select his players and tell you, you know how to just simple. He doesn't talk too much. And these are coaches that when he talks, he's not just yobbing. He's not talking out of nothing. He's speaking out of something. But for my coach at Nsoatreman, honestly speaking, is the worst coach I have seen. Yes. And yes, yes. So I'm an honest young man. I don't have to lie about my situation.
So
I have never seen it.
Since you said he's probably the worst coach you've worked with, have you like asked him that, like, why am I not playing? Have you had conversation with him to ask him why you are not playing?
I learned something as Wafa. When after games you need to assess yourself because you have a target.
Okay.
Every academy player, they let you know that you have your own, you have your personal target. After game, in the course of the game, you need to assess yourself. You are playing well or you're not playing well. I think after our game against Karela, when we got back to camp, the next morning, he was the first person I called just to have that analysis with him because we have always lost 2-0 in our away game. And then we were down in the first half. You were using a central defender to play in central midfield. Karela was all over us. When you brought me, the game was totally changed. It was even in the second half. So for me as a player, I didn't have the game I expected to have. But for a good coach, you would have picked that. You'd have taken it from there because it was even in the second half. We didn't concede, we didn't score. So then we can build upon that in our next game. I was dropped again. Yeah, so I asked him, and his excuse was, "I have injury." Me as a player, I don't know if I have injury, but you, the coach, are telling me I have injury. So on several occasions, I have tried to have these conversations with him professionally because I don't like sitting on the bench.
True.
I am not interested. My interest is not to be part of 20-man squad to go to camp and go and take pictures and be posting it. I'm not interested in that. If you are playing Ghana Premier League and you are interested in the pictures people take and you post them, you are not going anywhere. Yes, because the Kotoko fans that we are saying don't come to stadium. They want to win. They want, that is their joy. That is their joy. They work Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They come to the field. So they want joy. You have to give them joy. So it's not about the pictures you go and stand there and take. No. So I want to play and entertain the fans. I want to win for the fans. And so when you sideline me, it's as if you are sitting on my progression.
Sure.
So I've had several conversations with him but I think the man had his own agenda. He was trying to promote his hometown boy. Yes. I don't even know why.
Don't worry. I understand what you mean. So is it that you are the only person in Nsoatreman affected by this, or there are some other players in the club that are also being treated this way, but they can't say anything?
Yeah, it's about your priorities. Someone is okay being with the Premier League side. It's okay. Yes, it's okay being in a squad of a Premier League club. It's
Yeah,
okay.
do you
But for
understand?
me, I'm not okay.
Are you the only one
Yes.
at the club that's not getting game, and you are feeling this way that you should be getting more games, or there are other players? Oh, okay.
Players we talk, we compare. Yes, so someone is not happy, but he feels that if he goes to talk right, if he says something right now, it's going to be made a cheap target. And I'm not afraid to be no. I'm fighting for this is my life. If I don't play, I'm not going anywhere. So I am. That's why I said people and their priorities. Mine is to play. Someone is happy. Is happy to be receiving salary at the end of the month from the man, and it's okay.
All right. So you said you're going to be in the Ghana Premier League next season. Right now, you will be assessing and looking at the club you play for next season. So everyone should be expecting you in the Ghana Premier League next season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for speaking with me, and hopefully we do this sometime in the future again.
So well.
Thank you very much.